Hey everyone, welcome to Monday Night Empower Team call. My kids are banging at the door. I will get that in a second. Okay, so I have the pleasure of introducing Tovah to you. You guys know Tovah, but she is doing this call tonight, and she just ranked Emerald, and she's going to be sharing with y'all her top tips for how to get to Emerald and what the journey has been like. And she's going to get real and raw. And I am so excited for what she has to share. Take it away.
Thank you. Okay, guys, I have lots to share. So if I'm looking down, I have all my notes here. So I was talking to Sabrina and Natalie about kind of what to share and what you guys might want to know the most. And I could sit here and talk about all the lists I made and all the notebooks I made and all the details, but I feel like more important than that can be taught and learned really easily is kind of looking back what I feel like made the strong foundation to kind of build my momentum on. And there's certain key components to your foundation that I think are vital. Just like anything, you can't build a house on a weak foundation. So these are what I see as the most important foundation to being able to grow consistently and grow quicker. First and foremost is belief. We talk about belief a lot, but I think we become desensitized to like, yeah, belief and belief leaks. But really, I want you to take a minute and kind of reflect on your belief. And it's a living, breathing thing. And so, what are you doing to maintain it? It's not going to just survive on its own. So you got to think of it as, I don't know, a house plant, however you want to think of it, but you have to take care of it and you have to feed it and you have to nurture it or it's not going to thrive. So examples, tangible examples of belief. So I listen to a bunch of podcasts. Some of them are related to my business. A lot of them are just related to understanding myself and understanding how I handle stress. And you have to be able to understand more about yourself in order to recognize blind spots and be able to be like, man, I'm not good at that, or that makes me really uncomfortable. I should work on growing through that. But all that starts with a little bit of self-reflection. And if you don't slow down and listen to something or read something that makes you ask hard questions, then you're never going to do that. Books. You have to get into books. You don't have to love to read. You can do audiobooks, that's fine. And if you struggle with audiobooks, do short bits, make it into your own podcast, do 10, 15 minutes, or do it with a buddy and you guys do a chapter and then talk about it. Have your own book study if you have a hard time listening and keeping track. Diamond documentaries, that is like a mixture of belief and vision casting. But for me, that was really belief because I was watching other people that were just like me. Um, and this is not a knock on anyone, but this is how my brain worked. I would see people who didn't go to college, who came from a small town and were super successful. And so I was able to be like, well, I did go to college and didn't come from a small town. So I know if they can do it, I can do it, kind of thing. So it's okay to point out to yourself your good attributes and what you're bringing to the table. I promise, whatever your story is, there's a diamond doc out there that's relatable to you. And it's important to watch those to see all the types of people from all the backgrounds that were able to do this. You're not some weird anomaly that has the rare components that you can't do this. Now, do we have different growth tracks? Absolutely. But we all have growth tracks, and you have to figure that out to keep your belief high. So that's why we go back to this. Another part is the people that are in your inner circle. They can destroy your belief or they can skyrocket your belief. And I think you really need to safeguard who you're around as much as you can. I know sometimes our families aren't super supportive, but if you're in that situation, you know you can't like just ditch your family. You must surround yourself as much as possible with other people who are going to feed your belief and things that are going to feed your belief, because you already know, like, okay, I'm taking it from this side, I've got to get it higher on this side. So you got to kind of counterbalance any of your challenges. And you can't, I'll just say right now, it is going to be almost impossible to go to diamond with a good close friend who hates plexus. Okay. Like that's going to be really hard. Like a best friend. I don't know any diamonds who have like a best friend who hates on plexus and thinks MLMs are stupid and stuff like that. So I'm not saying ditch all your friends, but you really got to decide who you're going to let stay in your super inner circle and feed, because they feed your mind and feed your belief. Following your facts, not your feelings. This has a lot to do with your belief. If you let your feelings run your business, you will not be successful. You cannot, this is an emotional roller coaster, no matter what personality, Enneagram, color you are. This is a lot of emotional ups and downs, and it makes you really question a lot of things about yourself and your strengths and weaknesses, which we all have. And you just need to recognize quicker and work on quicker, and you'll grow. It's none of us, feelings are visitors. Exactly. So what that means is you have to separate fact and feelings. I don't care if you have to write them down and tape it up in your office. And these are the facts. Like, I'm an intelligent person. I know and understand the systems. I am able to follow instructions. I'm able to do hard things. I am able to do things when I don't want to. Like, there's days we don't want to do laundry and dishes and feed our kids, and we do it, hopefully, most of the time. So that means you can do your business when you don't feel like it and you're discouraged. That's okay. If you're training for some big special marathon, or you think all those Olympic athletes wanted to work out every day, I promise they didn't. What about last year when their freaking Olympics got canceled? Did they want to work out for a whole other year when their mindset was that they were about to be done? So you have to early on recognize feelings when they're there, call them what they are. It's okay to feel them. That's fine. What's not okay is for them to dictate your actions. If you work your business when you feel good, you're not going to make it to Joel status anytime soon, because there's a lot of days you don't feel good, or you feel nervous, or you feel discouraged. But then you surround yourself with good people who you can go to and be like, I feel sad and I feel stressed out. And those people can pour into you and be like, that's okay. Let's talk about why you feel that way. Let's talk about why things are okay. So belief is the first one. Second big point is consistency. Again, this is a term we throw around all the time, but what does this mean, being consistent in? I know we've given this example before, but consistency is how you build trust. Trust with yourself, trust with your team, and trust with all your clients that you're ever going to have. That means like being a consistent human, consistently showing up as a friend and checking on people not related to plexus, consistently posting plexus and non-plexus things. It just shows like you know about yourself, you know what you want, you know what you're doing. When people know what to expect when they go to your page, it's one of three or four things probably. People don't realize it, but you're subconsciously building what they see you as, and that grows trust. So when they're ready to talk to you, they know you're the plexus person, you're the homeschool mom. They have this image of you in their head that's trustworthy and consistent. It's not the person swerving all over the road that can't decide if they want to exit or not, can't decide if they want to speed up or not. Because when you're not consistent on your social media, you're not consistent with your friendships, that's what it feels like. The crazy wacko driver that everyone wants to zoom past because we have no idea what they're about to do next. That's uncomfortable. So don't be that way. Like details, what to be consistent in, consistent in your posting, plexus and non-plexus, consistent in your stories, consistent in meetings. You have to show up to meetings. We've had people call into meetings from hospitals, from cars, from airplanes, from the weirdest places. Like, if it's a priority, you'll make it happen. Of course, there's weird, crazy things that happen sometimes. We all know that. But because those weird, crazy things happen sometimes, you got to show up for all the medium weird, because you got to save your misses for the extreme weird. Calls, training, all the trainings, all the calls, all the book clubs. So this is really where it starts to get into being honest with yourself about what your goals are and what is that going to take. And it doesn't do us any good to tell you you can work an hour a day and become an emerald. Now, can you work an hour a day and be successful at plexus and make some good money? Absolutely. But you need to talk to your upline about what rank you want really bad, And we can tell you how many hours a week that's going to take. And I've left my full-time job, my other job. I retired from that so I could focus on Plexus because it's requiring a lot of hours for me to get to the ranks that I want to at the speed I want to. So there's no right or wrong. You just need honest. And you need to be honest with yourself. And if you can't put that amount of work in right now, then just adjust the date that you want that. Like, you don't have to quit and give up. You just need to plan appropriately. Keep building belief in yourself. That's another part of it, just with personal growth. I'm looking at my notes here. So consistency, to keep going no matter what. And what is that no matter what? You keep going if your team's on board with you or not, if your team's motivated or not, if your team is showing up to meetings or not, if you're being supported by your upline, by your downline. If I don't, sometimes you're going to feel real supported and warm and fuzzy, and sometimes you're not. You have to keep doing the things because you're responsible for your business. And because somebody coached you in a rude way and ruffled your feathers that day doesn't mean you don't do IPA for 3 days. Okay, like, we're all humans, we're all flawed. Extreme ownership. We're not perfect coaches, we're not perfect uplines, we are going to mess up, we're going to be misunderstood. Just accept that now, and we can be emotionally mature and we can bring it up when it happens. Don't hurt yourself and back off your business because something upsets you. So keep going no matter what. You don't work just when it's fun and just when it's pleasant. You always work. Think of the runners. Those are the people that always stick out in my head. The marathon runners. It doesn't matter if it's snowing or sleeting or 105 degrees. Those people are runners. They're gonna put their shoes on and go out and run. Some days it's more pleasant than others, but they don't like peek out and be like, oh, it looks like good running weather today, I think I'll go. Like, there's no discussion to be had. That's kind of how this business has to be run. And then my last big point is vision. I think this is a really important one that you've got to spend some time on, because I almost see vision as like taste in music. Like, when you find your music that you really love, that speaks to you, like that, like you feel that. And I could listen to those songs that make Natalie feel that way. And I might have an emotional response to them, and others I'm like, this is really irritating, I don't like this song. So it's very individual, but it evokes an emotional, like, you guys know those songs. There's like a handful of songs, and it doesn't matter how many times you've heard them. That's the best example I can find. To You must find something that embodies that with your vision for Plexus. So for me, it's photographs. Photographs are good, really amazing, like artistic photography elicits emotions in me like nothing else. It's like poetry for my eyes or something. I just like love it. So I made all these outlines and words over what I wanted for my family, what I wanted for my finances, what I wanted to go do with my friends, what kind of crap I wanted to buy for my house. I made all these outlines, like 6 different categories. Then I took to Pinterest and I found dramatic, artistic photos that supported each one of those points. And so I have a part of my board that's all these pictures that represent like financial freedom. And then I have a part that has all these different countries, places I'm going to go with my girlfriends when we have tons of money to spend, things I'm going to do with my husband, and things I'm going to do with my kids. So when I look at it, all I see is a ton of images that bombard me with emotions of like, I'm going to be there one day. That's not the same for everyone. Pictures tend to do it for a lot of people, but you have to find, it might be a mixture of quotes with pictures. I don't think electronics enough personally. I think you need to print something out, have something you see, have something you read. So if you need ideas for that, talk to your upline and they can kind of talk to you about vision board, vision casting. But you've got to find something that is a tangible way to associate your vision. Other ways I've drawn out my vision, because I can't just sit over there and like stare at my boards all day, which would be fun, but I don't have them like plastered behind my desk. They're huge dry erase magnetic boards in my closet when I open them. So I can open them sometimes, but it's not like right at my desk. Um, I have memo lists of, I found the green dress I wanted exactly. And I did buy a green dress. I don't think it's going to be the one I end up using, but I found a dress that was a possible and I bought it and it hung in my closet in the front for months. And I had a picture on my phone of my husband and I, as my backdrop, that had a ton of like neon green in it and just made me think emerald. And every time I saw that, I'm like, I'm gonna be there. I'm headed there. I'm gonna be there. And then I bought these things off of Amazon. What do we do without Amazon? So I have these little jokers. They're fake. They were like 15 bucks on Amazon. I got one of each color and they sit on my desk. And I see them when I ride my Peloton. I took a Plexus little champagne glass and I filled it with glitter, starting at silver, gold, ruby, emerald, all the way up. I filled it with the colors of glitter. At Lauren, early on, we got to still fill that up with glitter all the way. So things like that that just make me happy, that make me think and watch. I'm working my way through. Inspiring songs, certain songs that make you really motivated and feel good about yourself. Have like your Plexus playlist, like the songs that when you're feeling crappy and not motivated, that you can listen to. Runners have that. They have those. On my phone, I have a memo list of the things I want to buy when I'm in Emerald. Now I can start buying them. And then the things I want to buy when I'm a sapphire and the things I want to buy when I'm a diamond. I've texted them to Natalie. And the diamond one's like really out there. I freaking love it. I'm like, we're gonna go on a ski trip to Vail and stay in one of the expensive little cottages right on the slopes and like all these. And I follow other diamonds and I watch them do this crap. That's why I'm like, I'm gonna add that to my list. And I mean, my emerald one's a little more realistic. Like, I want to buy a couch. I want to pay off this credit card. Like, really tangible things that I want to do at each level. And I like to read through them. It's like a birthday wish list that I know is coming. And yeah, exactly. Write them out and read them. Send them to your upline if you like. I love sending Natalie that stuff. Um, Let me see. I think following Jules, vacation planning. So I made a whole collage page of the Maldives. And I told Natalie that that's my Plexus honeymoon. That's what I've named it. When I hit diamond, Brad and I are going to go take like a second honeymoon to the Maldives. And I've already like picked out which like cabin thing I want to stay in, the expensive one at the very end of all the other ones, and like it's gonna be awesome. And I look at pictures of the Maldives, and Natalie and all her intelligence on my last push day sent me a picture of the Maldives like halfway through the day, and I was like, exactly. It just embodies something I've always wanted. That for a long time I didn't think I'd have money to spend on that, and it's not a necessity at all, and it's a luxury that I'm working to have one day. That motivates me. You must learn what motivates you because you will get in slumps. It's not if, it's when. That's okay. We're people, we have hormones, we have all sorts of things, life stressors. You will get into slumps. Money motivates me. Financial freedom motivates me. The freedom to have enough money to do what I want without thinking about it and without worrying about it. So I don't know if you would say it's like I love money, but I love the idea of being able to just do what I want and not worry about how much it costs. So I will read finance books and books about how to invest my money, even though I don't have a bunch of extra right now to invest. I'm about to. So I want to know what to do with it. So I read finance books all the time, in addition to my self-help books and self-growth books, all the Tony Robbins ones and any of that stuff. I love it. Millionaire by Halftime, Millionaire Mindset, all those books, I burn through them because that is like, ooh, I want to be able to do those things. So I need to go make a bunch of extra money so that I can go do those things that they just said. That does not motivate everybody. You might be motivated to help put fresh water in African villages. Get a book on that. Watch a documentary on that. If you're motivated to foster care, adopt kids, go follow the diamonds who've done that. There's a bunch of them. So find the ones, line up with the ones that elicit that emotional response in you. And from what I hear with Brooke and Emily, like as you rank up, like your things will change. Like once you get the couch and go to Vail and stuff, you're like, okay, now I want to like focus on something else. But the point is, you need what motivates you right now. And there's no wrong. There's absolutely no wrong. If you just want to buy a bunch of Louis Vuitton, that's totally fine. That's totally acceptable. Okay, you don't need to go like fund an orphanage if that's not what speaks to you, that's fine. So don't feel like you ever be ashamed of like what motivates you, because there's no right or wrong. And then the last thing is leadership in there. And I'm not going to talk much on that, but I really feel like the four cornerstones of my foundation are belief, consistency, vision, and leadership. And being able to have those as like my platform for all of us to step on and grow off of. And I have to maintain all of them or things get off kilter. And so you have to constantly be circling around and feeding these, and it's a balancing act. But you have to know what it takes, your vision, and that's like a technical question. And your vision's going to be what makes it worth it. And somebody said this once at two Ruby retreats ago, and it has stuck with me so much. And she said, it's not so much what you're willing to do for your goal. She said, what are you willing not to do? So runners are willing to not sleep an extra hour. They're willing to give up sleep and go run. A lot of us who do this, we're willing to not watch Netflix or to minimize how much TV and stuff we get to watch. We're willing to not go out every weekend and hang out with non-plexus friends. We're willing to stay in and put in a little extra work, give up sleep, sometimes give up this, that, give up a few bedtimes. So those are things you're going to give up. You have to give up something. But if your vision and belief is big enough, then it's okay. You weigh it out. Now, if those things are super painful to give up, that to me would say you really need to work on your vision and where you're headed and your belief in yourself and this business and the products and your vision. Those have to come together, your belief and your vision, and consistency. And soon leadership. As soon as you start duplicating people, you must start being a leader. You're a leader if you know it or not. As soon as you sign anyone who's doing more than using the products, you're a leader. So you better start investing in learning. That is a learned skill. Some people, just like singing, are born a little bit better at it than others, but people can be taught. That's a thing I think to recognize with all this is I promise there's things you're bad at. That's totally okay. And I promise you can learn all of them. If you resist recognizing what you're bad at and what your blind spots are, that's going to slow you down dramatically. And it becomes like a freaking hobby. Natalie and I all the time are like asking each other, like, "Oh, I think that's messed up about me. Oh, I think that's wrong with me too." Hey, I bet there's a really good book or podcast on how we could address that. But we like seek that and are thirsty for that because we know as soon as you get a handle on a weak spot and start growing in it, you're going to take off in other areas. So now we're like, it's like looking for dust in a house. It's like, where is it? I can find it. I know it's here somewhere. So I've kind of hit on a bunch of stuff here. Just to recap quickly: belief. You must feed your belief like a house plant. You must take care of it. You must weed it. You must really every single day. You can't go 3 days without watering a plant and be like, oh, it'll be fine, I'm sure. You have to take care of it. So whatever you want to compare it to, a pet, a house plant, whatever. I can't relate to the pet thing. And then consistency on every single front. Understand why you're being consistent. And consistency and belief go together with yourself, keeping promises to yourself. Don't underestimate that. When you say you're going to do your IPA, you say you're going to come to meetings and you do, that builds your belief in yourself, which will make you a better leader. It's almost impossible to be a strong leader if you don't believe in yourself. People are going to sense it. You have to believe in your abilities. And the way you do that is by doing what you say you're going to do. And it's the same with people trusting you outside. They see you do what you say again and again, so then they believe you. Vision, find how to elicit that emotional response based on what you want. It's the thing you want, and Plexus is going to get you there. So what connects? What's the line there? Mine's photos and shopping lists, apparently. And then dig into leadership, dig into your blind spots, make it a hobby. So all of you can do this, every single one of you. When I sat at not even silver, I watched Natalie and Courtney, and Natalie again and again told me Fallon's story, told me Courtney's story, told me her story, and explained the similarities between me and them, and how they had no special ingredients that I didn't have. And if I were to follow instructions and be coachable and be a hard worker, that there was zero standing in my way. And I believed them. It was scary. I wasn't so sure all the time, but I decided to believe them. I took that step and decided. So at some point, you have to take that scary step and just decide and believe in all of it. And so I'm excited to watch all of you guys be giving this talk one day.
Thank you so much, Tovah. We just are so proud of you, and we just appreciate all the wisdom. And that's solid. You can take all that advice to the bank, y'all. We will see you on the Pink Power Call and be watching in the Empower chat for the dates of all of our upcoming events. And I just want to say congratulations to everybody that ranked up this month. I mean, we had 5 golds, like several senior silvers, a lot of silvers, and that means that you are on the right team and you are at the right place at the right time. So stay tuned, and we will see you on the next call.